back to News Geelong. The Geelong Heritage Centre has taken a significant technological step into the future. Ian Nichols reports.
This is the Geelong Heritage Centre. It has an incredible range of records and memorabilia from the past. And now it's online. Just the click of a mouse and you can see what's been happening in Geelong for more than 100 years. And to create this special event today, the Minister for Regional Victoria, Dennis Napthine, and Councillor John Mitchell, the Mayor of Geelong, have put on a special presentation.
This is a wonderful step forward in terms of heritage online. So there's over 1,000 historical images of Geelong and Geelong region, including football teams, historic buildings, ancient pictures of Geelong itself and the development of Geelong, all online, so people can just one click and they can start looking at their heritage, their history and the history of Geelong. It is fabulous.
Well, Mayor, you could spend a lot of time on this. It's very time-consuming if you were a real historian, and I'm sure there are lots of them around this city.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. And the great thing about this is, this will take it to a lot more people than probably even realise that it's here at the moment, and it will stimulate interest. And whilst it's great online, and that's the way to do it, people can then come into the hopefully new Heritage Library and Heritage Centre in the near future, as the Minister has said, and touch and feel it as well. So it's a great initiative.
And it comes hot on the heels of Heritage Week, of course, with the open day here, and a bit more awareness about our historical background.
There's no doubt all Victorians and Australians are getting more and more interested in their heritage. There are many people searching family records, in searching history of their ancestors, and these heritage centres have become more important to people. So having this available online will provide greater access anywhere in the world, but also stimulate significantly more interest.
At the Geelong Heritage Centre, which is now online, this is Ian Nichols for News Geelong.
Thank you, Ian. Geelong played host to the 2011 National Hot Rods of Australia exhibition at the Geelong Showgrounds at the Easter weekend. Our own Revhead Steph Cowdery reports.
I'm at the 20th Annual Australian Street Rod Federation Nationals here at the Geelong Showgrounds, where literally hundreds of hot rods are on display for Geelong residents to get up close and personal with their favourite cars. Right, so Rod, how have you enjoyed the day so far?
Oh, it's been a great day. I've only been here for about an hour, but yeah, I'm showing my son Cooper around, showing him all the different types of cars, motors and the different makes and models and how they're modified. Yeah.
And have you been to this event before?
Yeah, when it was here last time, I think it was 10 years ago, was it? The last Nationals here, yeah. But it seems to be a lot bigger this time, a lot more cars.
And what sort of things are available for anyone coming along to the day?
It's a great day out, interesting. Get to see all the different cars and accessories and things you can buy in the sheds around here. Yeah, very interesting.
What has been your favourite part?
Probably just him showing me all the different cars and models and motors.
Have you got any favourites that you've seen around?
Yeah, there's a Cadillac over there, a purple Cadillac. That's probably my favourite.
Do you think you'll ever own one day?
Oh, I don't know, maybe.
How long have you had this car for?
Well, actually, believe it or not, I've been building the car for 18 years. I know it sounds like a long time, and everyone does say that. I started when I was younger, naturally, and then family changes and kids change and everything changes, so the car just left in a corner. And believe it or not, it was only in the last 2 years that my son, who now is in his 30s, said, "Come on, Dad, if you don't finish this car now, we'll never get it built." So with his help, we finally finished the car, and it's only actually been finished, probably about now 6 weeks. So it's been a very long process, I must admit, but it's just purely and simply that your life changes from the time that you originally started building it until now. The car was on the road 18 years ago, and it was originally, believe it or not, owned by my brother 18 years ago, and then he sold it and it just disappeared out of the face of the earth, and I found it many years later and thought I'm going to buy it back from the guy, and then stripped it and fully rebuilt it again and brought it back to the stage. But as I said, it took a long process. But with the help of my son, we eventually put it back together again.
Stephanie Cowdery at Geelong Showgrounds, News Geelong.
Thank you, Steph. The challenging and continued future of the Geelong Central Business District was a subject of much discussion at the Geelong Chamber of Commerce Forum as Ian Nichols reports.
This is the Pier restaurant in Geelong, the scene of a conference today dealing with the future of the Geelong Central Business District. It's been organised by the Geelong Chamber of Commerce, and guest speaker today is Todd Devine.
Option Victoria, or Option, is a independent property valuation and advisory business which specialises in providing valuation and property consultancy work. So our role here has been to collect data from the central Geelong area, analyse that data to understand better the rents that are being paid, the vacancy rates which exist, and just to analyse that and understand better what the issues are within the CBD, so that we can actually look at it in a factual basis based on data rather than just opinions and perceptions of people.
Well, there's been plenty of those bandied about in the months that have just passed. Do we see an answer here to the decline in the CBD?
Well, we would say that there's not necessarily a decline in the CBD at all. Our research shows that the central Geelong has a vacancy rate of about 8.3% retail-wise. Now, that is high, definitely in comparison with what's occurring in other CBDs and other regional centres. But the reality is what it does do, and our research has indicated that there are some irrelevant spaces or obsolete spaces which probably don't meet the needs or the demand of the retail users these days. So if you take those larger spaces, and they are, the obsolete spaces that tends to be the larger spaces of over 500 square metres, if you were to exclude those vacant areas out of our analysis, it shows that in actual fact our retail shop fronts have only got a vacancy rate of about 3.9%, which is pretty consistent with what's occurring within other CBD locations.
So in the future, we perhaps see it pick up and get back to something like normalisation again?
Yeah, well, I think what we've got to do is we've got to understand, well, how do we adapt, or how do we change some of these spaces which aren't relevant any longer in the marketplace? And that can be through subdividing them into smaller areas, because the smaller areas still tend to have pretty good demand. Or do we look at changing the use of those spaces into something else, so that the space is absorbed? One of the real problems we have, and I think why there is a perception that there's a decline in the market, is that these large spaces tend to be pretty high-profile tenancies or high-profile areas, such as Dimmies, the corner of Ryrie and Moorabool Streets. Now, they're large spaces which are very prominent and have been difficult to lease. So as a consequence, I think everyone thinks that it's a lot worse than perhaps it may well be.
Well, that sounds like there is some light at the end of the tunnel here. Oh,
absolutely, yeah. We're very confident. If you consider that our vacancy rate within Geelong, retail space, spiked at about 11.6% in 2009. We've come down from that to 8.3% now. And if you also put that in the context that Westfield expanded in 2008 and added about another 11% of retail space over that time, or 90 shops or 17,000 square metres, for us to actually have a vacancy rate of 8.3% is actually not a bad result.
So do you think as a result of addressing the Chamber of Commerce today, they have a better grip of what's really happening here?
Well, I hope so, yeah. I think there's a real chance that that's the case. And as I say, that we're very conscious that there's been a lot of talk and a lot of passionate talk about what's going on with our city centre. And what we're hoping to do is just to put some quantitative data in place so that people can look at what's occurring based on facts, which gives us a platform to make decisions on what we should and shouldn't be doing to our city centre. And not only that, gives us a chance to actually measure our performance, go forward 12 months, how our vacancy rates and our usages and things like that are going.
At Geelong's Cunningham Pier, this is Ian Nichols for News Geelong.
Thank you, Ian. This is News Geelong as we go to a break and return with sport and weather after this.